Vice-Chancellor, Lord Bishop, Lord Mayor, Lady Mayoress, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Cosgrove was born in Manchester in 1934 and, according to his mum, drew his first Mickey Mouse aged 5. There's a special significance to that. On leaving school, he worked for several years in a cotton factory with the stuff known as grey cloth, but after national service, he was sponsored into art college by a family connection in the newspaper industry with a view to Brian making it into advertising. In fact, he met fellow student Mark Hall, who was to become a long-term collaborator, and they were helped by an art college lecturer into posts in design at Granada Television. Design in television fell into two broad areas at that time, what one might term studio architecture and design, and on the other hand, graphics for title credits, where the artwork was actually placed in front of the camera and shot. Times have changed. Brian worked in design for 9 years while harbouring an ambition to do animation. Granada had by that time purchased a rostrum camera to facilitate slicker credits, but let Brian use it for some pilot animations. Meanwhile, a film editor friend set up a commercials company which Brian and Mark joined, which afforded them greater opportunity to develop their storytelling ideas. Ultimately, stop-frame animations provided an opportunity for Brian to develop story ideas and for Mark to do the backgrounds and, in Brian's phrase, burn the midnight oil. In 1975, Thames Television got interested, and Brian and Mark went with their children's section as a new company, Cosgrove Hall Productions, as an animation subsidiary of Thames TV. By way of keeping it in the family, Brian's wife Angela painted the acetate cells for the first pilots, and later on his daughter Laura was briefly with the company in paint and trace. This is what Brian went on to do, and it's not often you get to read a list like this in a cathedral. Danger Mouse, The Wind in the Willows, Count Duckula, The BFG, The Pied Piper, Captain Noah and His Floating Zoo, Charlton and the Wheelies, Peter and the Wolf, The Reluctant Dragon, Father Christmas and the Missing Reindeer, Phantom Cat, The Avenger Penguins, The Talking Parcel, Sooty, The Foxbusters. Is any of this ringing any bells with anyone? The Magic Ball, Jamie and the Magic Torch, Albie, Cinderella, Captain Kremen, Alias the Jester, The Fool of the World and the Flying Ship, Victor and Hugo, Truckers, Noddy, Okie Doke, Brambly Hedge, Discworld, The Animal Shelf, Bill and Ben, Andy Pandy, and Pip Ahoy. I feel happier just going through the list. For these and other works, Brian Cosgrove has been awarded 6 British Academy Awards, the British Academy Lifetime Achievement Award, 3 International Emmy Awards in the USA, 8 Royal Television Society Awards, the Royal Television Society Lifetime Achievement Award, the Prix Jeunesse and the Prix Danube. There are more, perhaps culminating for the moment in November 2012, when Brian was a BAFTA Special Award recipient for Outstanding Creative Contribution. The actress Deborah Gillett remarked that the quality of the creative work, the high standard on which they based every detail of every project, was so reassuring. No matter how long the day, work was always fun and felt like a family getting together every time we met to record the next set of episodes. He knew what he wanted down to the last minute detail, and the result was wonderful original shows. And if anyone ever doubted that cartoons were cool, Bernard Sumner of Joy Division, John Squire of Stone Roses, and Craig Gill of Inspiral Carpets all worked under Cosgrove Hall tutelage at some point, which says a great deal on the part of their studio in the cultural life of Manchester at a particularly significant time. Speaking of his BAFTA Special Award, Brian said, "I've been lucky in many ways, particularly that I've spent my whole career doing what I would have chosen to do as a hobby, and I was fortunate in finding the right person, Mark Hall, to work alongside. Together we built a company that gave work to a whole generation of artists and filmmakers, and hopefully, by the programs we made, brought pleasure to many generations of viewers. I can only concur. I earlier mentioned Brian's daughter Laura, while his other daughter Jenny is a producer and director of documentary. I think much of her work is serious, but perhaps we can look forward to a film about Brian's work and the wonderful, uncomplicated pleasure it has brought to so many. Vice-Chancellor, in recognition of his outstanding contribution to the arts, in particular sculpture, animation and film production, in the name of the Council and of the Senate, I present to you for admission to the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa, in this university, Brian Cosgrove.
By virtue of the authority invested in me, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Letters honoris causa in this university. It gives me great pleasure to invite Dr. Brian Cosgrove to address the congregation.
Vice-Chancellor, honoured guests and graduates, thank you. I have been very lucky to do what I love to do as a job. It didn't really feel like work. I was lucky enough to be in a business with a friend making films that gave me and hopefully all those who viewed them a great deal of pleasure. And then to be honoured in this way is rather wonderful. But today is a celebration of you, the graduates. I read an article recently about the author and artist Dr. Seuss. And he was honoured like this with a doctorate by an American university. And he wrote a piece to read on the day. I read it and I thought it was fun. I thought it was also full of life advice. And I thought what I would rather do is read you that. He called it, "Oh, the Places You'll Go." Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places, you're off and away. Your brain's in your head, your feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own. You know what you know, and you are the guy who'll decide where to go. Be who you are, and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. And when you're alone, there's a very good chance you'll meet things that scare you right out of your pants. There are some down the road between hither and yon that can scare you so much you won't want to go on. But on you will go, though the weather be foul. On you will go, though your enemies prowl. On you will go, though the Haken-crack howls. Onward up many a frightening creek, though your arms may get sore and your sneakers may leak. On and on you will hike, and I know you'll hike far, and face up to your problems, whatever they are. Today you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. You'll be on your way up. You'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar to great heights. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting. So get on your way. My very best wishes to you all for the future.